Well, man, I have no idea if we're gonna keep this weird video going here, but I figured we'd try a new background, maybe keep people a little bit, awake here as we go on a Tuesday evening. It's very late here in Blindau, right in Winkel. That's Bavaria, so it's 11 o'clock here. So if I'm talking a little quietly, it's because my 3-year-old is in the room next to me. But yeah, how you doing, man? How you enjoying
I
the view of this
this
I don't
is
know,
this is entitled. I was
tree
gonna open the
plantation?
show. I looked at the clock and it said 5 o'clock. And do you remember? It's 5 o'clock in New York City. This is the five. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that,
The
no.
five, the Fox News show, the five. That's how they would open up every
Ah,
night.
I do vaguely
They
remember that.
got
I
to
don't know
announce
often,
every
though.
day that it was 5 o'clock. So yeah, this is very this is like gonna put me into a trance. All
Yeah, there
everyone's
was a
going to be hypnotized by the end of the show.
it might be. There was a funny quote from this week from John Kruk. Do you know who that is? He was a
The baseball
famous.
player.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Of
figured you'd
course,
know.
I know
Baseball
John
player
Kruk.
for
Yes, of
Philadelphia.
course.
Yeah, you
Mr.
know that.
Randy Johnson.
Everyone else probably doesn't know, but
Fastball ducking. Yeah, go ahead.
exactly.
Sounds like someone.
He is a broadcaster somewhere for someone, I don't know where anyway. And he had the quote this week where he said something like, so whoever made the first watch, how did they know what time it was? It was the first clock, or maybe first clock. It's
There's
like,
a lot of those.
how do
There's a
you,
lot.
yeah,
Who made the
the
first?
first, yeah.
I just saw one, Kev. It was about toast, and the guy said somebody took a piece of bread that was cooked and said, "Cook it again." Like a genius. And now humanity can enjoy toast because some guy decided to take toast, bread that was already cooked, and said, "Cook it again." And now we've got toast, butter,
And
and
now we're flying
how
through the
how many
clouds.
foods? I know you worked like with hey Christine. I know you work with food and all that. How many foods had to be tried for the first time? Somebody had to do
Yeah,
it.
when people are dying. But I remember reading a
Cherries on the
book.
tree.
There was a book I think about Father De Smet, who's a really fascinating character in American history. If people don't know about Father De Smet, definitely look up Father De Smet. But I think it was a book about him where he would go and he would meet with these Indian chiefs and stuff, and they had these medicine men, and part of what the medicine men would do would they would
Mhm.
literally, yeah, they would take little bites of these different plants and stuff
And see what
and see what
happens.
happened. Yeah, so I mean,
Imagine,
you wonder how many of these things they were also putting in their pipe and smoking. I mean, it's like, let's
or
see,
yeah,
is this going to have a good effect or a bad effect if I smoke it? And how
yeah,
many of these guys got real sick in the process?
the hot pepper. Some guy had to try a hot pepper for the first time.
True.
Probably thought he
And
was going
continue to do
through
it.
and continue. I needed to give me another one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything. I thought of that in depth many times. When I was growing up, my backyard had a an apple tree, and we weren't allowed as kids. We weren't allowed to eat them because they were wild apples that weren't cleaned and all that. And so
Oh, boo.
my very early years of life, I remember looking at the fruit and thinking some guy had to try certain foods for the
Yeah.
first, and it's not going to be me. I guess I am not allowed to
Yeah.
be. I am not permitted to be that
Are
guy.
you an adventurous eater, man? I am. I will try just about anything. I mean, I've had duck
Oh
tongue. Like I've had
yeah,
all sorts of things.
yeah,
Like if there's
yeah,
something on the
yeah.
menu that's like, hey, this
I've
one's a little weird, I'll do it.
would you do? Maybe you've seen these YouTube videos where the food in their dish is still living. Like it's a lot of Asian stuff. I can't. I would not do that. Do
Oh
you know what I mean?
no,
Where the little slug is like still crawling
no,
out
that
and
might
she's
be too
got to
far.
slurp
That
it
might be
really
too far.
quick. No, but if it's food, if it's just normal food and not anything that you'd find at a weird Asian buffet where it's still breathing and trying to live, no, I wouldn't eat it. But other than that, no, I'd eat anything. I am not a picky
My grandpa.
a super chat. Have you ever gotten one of those, Kev?
Oh, Sede Picante. I think I
A
got one
super
last
chat.
time from Sede
Well, yeah,
Picante.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
he's a
which one
big
of us takes
supporter.
that $5? I've never
You
had
get
this
that.
happen before.
I'll take it. I'll take the
I
last
do need a
ten.
cup. I do need an iced coffee.
That
That
is
is very
nice.
that is
I
very
think he
nice.
gave us the first super chat we've had last. I think it was the show with it must have been the show with Mario. Or no, Mario wasn't
Really?
live. I don't know.
So
Sede Picante, what was that?
Go
I
ahead.
don't
Go ahead. I
I
was
didn't
gonna say
remember.
we can host these and just watch money flow in. What are we doing with? What
Yeah,
am I
of
doing with
course.
my life?
I've actually been doing that all the time. I just hide
You
it
keep
from
all the 100%. I looked at
I'm actually really
I
rich
looked
from
at
this
the Catholic
podcast. You
Family
just didn't know.
Podcast
Trying to.
tax returns on the website, and I was suspicious of that 9-figure amount.
Matt, my reputation is going to go down
Oh
pretty quick.
man.
I'm a Trump worshiper. I didn't read the Vatican II documents. I steal money from podcasting stuff. Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad.
Well, I gotta say, I shifted my thought process of what I was even thinking about. Eating food
Right in the mid
right in
of
the
saying, yeah,
right in the
right
middle of
in
a great point.
the
What
middle of a
what can
sentence. Don't you
I
hate that? You're like, I would love to talk about.
say that'll
Oh
earn us
man,
another
where did it
super
go?
chat? Did you know, Kev?
Well, it would actually be interesting. Yeah, that should
I
actually.
invented. Nobody's going to believe me with this. I invented PayPal. I was a little kid. My family did not have the internet in our house. For those people who maybe are a bit younger than me, that was a thing at some point where your house didn't have the internet in it. My uncle did, and Pokemon was extraordinarily popular at the time. And I would go over my uncle's house maybe once or twice a month, very rare, and he would have a computer in his basement that had the internet on it. And I remember thinking, how awesome that I can go on this thing, type in Pokemon cards, and
AOM.
yeah, I don't know what he had, maybe SNET, or I don't know what you would call it. But anyway, and I would look at the cards, and I would look at the all the Japanese art of the Pokemon, and I think to myself, I don't have any money to afford these things. I'm just, I don't know, 8 years old. And then I said to myself, if I ever opened up a website where I can just have people channel me income, I'd be all set. And so I invented sendmemoney.com as like an 8-year-old. And little did I know that people would, I did sendmemoney.com. I was just a
Yeah.
wee young child thinking of these things.
You
And I
should
never
at
went
least
with
save the
it. I
domain
know.
name.
And now there's PayPal, and I'm far
Just needed
behind.
Elon Musk,
Yeah,
right?
no, that's
You
it.
took your idea.
That's it. That's it. So speaking of politics, you wanted to get into Putin.
So I don't know if we wanted to speak of politics, because again, I'm a Trump worshiper.
He is.
Boy, my.
I have to say,
I may have to go real quick because my wife's not here. Matt, my wife's not here. But I hear my 3-year-old crying. I may have to run.
Go ahead.
If I do, then I think he's not crying anymore. But if I do, then you're
I'll
gonna
carry it
everything.
on. I'll carry it on.
Or you can just have Seda Bicante come on the show and
you can join us right. And if he's still listening, I don't have any puppets here to pull out and to I want to know where that puppet came from. How does one acquire a fluffy orange puppet? Is it from Amazon?
I like to imagine that he sewed it. I think so. He made it himself.
One day in the lab.
I think he has skills.
Christine made it for him. People, you laugh at these sort of things, but people make money doing nonsense like this. Like, I knew a girl. She ran. She used to go to the church that I used to go to. She Etsy. Etsy's got everything. That's why I ordered I ordered a lot of things from Etsy.
It's sad. I mean, because on that line. Oh no, go
ahead. I was
going
to say she would make jewelry for fun. Somebody was like, "Hey, you should sell that." She put it up on Etsy, and she was making like a couple $100 a month from just a weird hobby that somehow someone suggested to her. Put it online, and there she went. We should talk about while I see Christine. We should talk about the Yankees and the Mets, just because I know that I know that she would.
Oh, she's a Mets fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've had a bummer.
They've had a rough. The Rockies are hot, Kev. The Rockies have won their fourth straight game.
They might not be the worst team of all time.
I wish they were. Just to say
I know. I kind of
lived through it. I missed. We're gonna miss out on we're gonna miss out on those things. But no, I think really quick. You brought up Trump. I didn't think that I would say this originally in 7-8 months ago. This is my opinion. His second term is a complete disaster. A complete letdown. I thought just the opposite was going to happen, and everything that I didn't want to happen is happening. And never in a million years would I have thought that I would have said his first term would be better than his second. But I absolutely,
Really? Are you serious? You're that down
oh,
on it?
completely,
That's interesting.
completely,
So
everything.
so what I mean, I think a lot of things. I mean, like I think Israel. I don't like. He seems to be owned by Israel, but I actually think he's done quite a bit of
Uh,
the things that I wanted him to
I'm
do.
I don't know. There's a pill for this. There's a color for this. You know, there's red pill, black pill. I don't know what any of them are. I'm one of them. I'm
Oh yeah.
absolutely one of them on this. And really, like, it's put me in the spot where I have said that never, ever will I vote again. I have had that strong inclination, unless somebody, I don't know. I have a few names that I
Don't
don't
not
want to
vote.
say.
Don't if you don't want to vote presidential, okay, but don't not vote.
I can agree with that. But there has to be a candidate who I don't want to say on now because it's way too early. But oh man, I've jumped on so many. I have been. What can you say? I don't want to. I hate the term enlightened. I don't want to use that word. But I've been something pilled, and it's not good. I guess it is good because I see things in a very 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 different light than I did. Yeah, the pills. However many months ago. I think the whole thing is a complete letdown. I think the whole thing is just an absolute bomb. I couldn't have been more I can't be more disappointed. Uh,
So what
oh
primarily? What is
wow,
disappointing to you?
everything. There's not an issue that I would not say that I've been disappointed on. Truly, um, Iran being the first thing. Now I don't know how some things he exaggerates or whatever, or whatever type of strategy he uses, but talking about it might be to the point now where we can send troops to Ukraine. American troops wouldn't shock me. I would hope not, but
No, no.
man,
They've said over and over there won't be boots on the
yeah,
ground. There won't be soldiers in Ukraine.
yeah.
No way.
I
No way.
I don't know. He can the things that he campaigned on. I ask myself, where are they now? Remember, and I'm not arguing with you with this guy. I'm just saying out loud. He
No,
he
no, I'm
he
interested to
said
hear.
that he would end the Russian-Ukrainian conflict as
In a week.
president-elect. It's August, and there's
Yeah.
no end in sight. They're funneling money back to Ukraine now. That started up again. All of the people in his cabinet say the worst. I mean, Israel is at the forefront of a lot of this, and it's just not the conservatism of 1990 is so far long gone that that none of
Yeah,
them
I
are
mean,
it
the
anymore.
Israel thing I'll give you. I mean, but he's meeting with Putin. He's meeting with the rulers of Europe, and I think he seems to be trying to bring peace. I think that's a good
But
thing.
the thing,
The economy is booming. The tariffs worked. He has. They have helped already to defund more abortion centers, et cetera. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I am not. I keep saying it. I'm not a Trump worshiper. I do not think he's this great hero. But I actually have been kind of pleasantly surprised. I think he's done a pretty good job, and I think it's not perfect. I think he speaks in exaggeration and hyperbole. That's just how he is. And when he says he's going to, finish a war in a week, it is a stupid thing to say. But when you actually watch what he's done, the things that have really bothered me have been the Israeli things. That he really does seem to be bought and paid for by Israel, and that I fully admit
and
that. I think
once
that
though,
seems true, and that's disturbing.
I agree with that point. And once you start there, everything else stems from it. How many Speaker Johnson, who Trump just adores, like the rest of them, was at that wall at the apostate Jews, putting his hand on it. The ambassador, Mike Huckabee, I can't believe I once liked him too. The ambassador to Israel said it is a Christian's duty to support the Zionist state. Didn't use that language, but this
He's
is
bonkers.
all they
I
talk
listened to
about.
him on Pierce Morgan, and he's a nut. Like he I think he would almost support. And it looks like Israel's about to go into Gaza with troops.
Yeah,
And I think that is being supported primarily by Huckabee, and I think it seems definitely by Trump, which is
and
pretty
the
bizarre because the rest of the Western world is not supporting Israel. So it's like, wait, what?
mhm,
I don't get it. I don't get the whole
mhm.
Israel thing. I am with you.
And that's everything, so much stems from that. And man, some things I'm hesitant to just say out loud because it crosses so many politically correct lines. Uh, America was once 90% white about 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Now it's in the high 50s, low 60s. Nobody cares. I think
That's not
that's a
Trump's
no, no, no. I'm
fault.
not saying it is, but
Trump's actually trying
I
to fix
don't I
that.
don't think he is. I don't.
He shut the border. Like that's factual. Like he factually shut the border.
But it's
I mean,
not just.
otherwise, I mean, crime and stuff. I mean, I know they're trying to clean up the homelessness issues. I mean, crime in colored neighborhoods. I think that is a problem. I don't honestly really know how you fix that problem. I think it's a really good question. That's going to be a cultural, religious change. I think more than a political one. But I don't. I think you're being a little too harsh. I mean,
Okay.
I think I'm maybe being too soft. I think
Oh,
that's also
I
the
want to
problem
burn the
too.
MAGA hats.
That's interesting. I don't think I don't see the only thing that I see that can make me even consider that is the Israel thing. Because otherwise, like Iran, they went in and bombed the heck out of them. Didn't sound like they even killed anybody. I mean, if you're gonna bomb
Do you
something,
think
then
that whole thing
okay,
is over
do it
with?
like that.
It's very
I
quiet.
don't know. I
It's
mean,
very
I don't
quiet.
know,
It's
but
very
right now
quiet.
it's seems like it. I mean, and it seems like it kind of came to the deal, like, hey, look, we're gonna do this and we're gonna blow it up, and you guys can all leave, and then you're not going to do anything, or we're going to obliterate you. And Iran is like, okay. And to me, that's actual strength and leadership. And to me, that heck, I mean, that sounds good. Like if I was president, that may be what I would do. Like I don't know, can Iran have nuclear weapons or not? I think that's a really complicated discussion. But if you're saying, hey, they are truly a bonkers, leadership, which I think seems true, yeah, I would be a little
Well,
afraid. And then if you're going to blow up
the
their nukes,
question
then
goes a
do
lot
it
deeper
as
than
as
that.
clean as you
The
can.
question goes a lot deeper than that. And I think actually Ron Paul was really good on this. Not that I'm a big, I like Ron. I think he's actually one of the better ones, as you and I have said before. But the issue that people always ignore is why does Iran want a nuclear weapon? And people never get to that actual point there. I
Yeah,
totally off
it's
topic.
safety. It's the
The milk chocolate one.
right, but I mean, it's the assured. What's the phrase? Oh, someone help me in the chat. It's protection. It's to say
They
like,
want
hey,
to
yeah,
deter. They want to
if
deter.
we yeah, it's a determined. There's a phrase for it, but it's a determined. So it's like, hey, if you nuke us, we can nuke you. I mean, it makes sense. But as okay, the rest of the world, you can also, there is a point where it's like, okay, should lunatics be able to have a nuclear weapon? And I think that is a fair point. I think, yeah, I mean, but yeah, our American leaders lunatics? I think that's also a fair question. Should America have nuclear weapons? Absolutely not. I think nuclear weapons are obscenely
And then not
immoral.
only
I mean,
that,
look at
but
what America did
then
with it.
we decide who gets to have them and who doesn't get to have them. It's one of the reasons why they killed Kennedy. President Kennedy pushed back on Israel, and it didn't end so well. Didn't end so well with him. But
That's it. Thank you, Carlos. Mutually assured destruction. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up and read all the day. Yeah, but
But it
the
is. I mean, it's a
demographics.
good point. Like Sede Bicante, real quick, with Sede Bicante, because I mean, like he's saying, Pakistan has nukes, Israel has nukes. Why wouldn't it run? And that's a totally fair point. But the point being, okay, if let's say I'm the president of the United States and I hear that Iran wants to get nukes and is really close to getting them, and I know that they're led by a jihadist religious government, I
You would
I would at least
you
consider bombing them. I mean, I'm not saying I would do it, but I mean, like, I would certainly consider it. I mean, I think they are a really crazy government over in Iran, as far as I
But
understand.
you would deter Iran from having nuclear weapons by making Israel agree to stop all this hostility. Israel's plan
Yeah,
for the
of
longest time
course.
has been
Yeah.
to expand, which is why they've gone into
Yes.
Syria and
Yeah, they're doing it
they've
right now.
wanted to expand. They're
Yeah.
not happy with what they've got in 1948, which is why they tried to
Yes.
steamroll into the Gaza Strip and other parts.
Yeah.
They want to expand even more and more and more. So Iran feels. I don't think that Iran has any intention of nuking the United States or anything like that if we just minded our own business. So as I say that, read Christine's comment one more time. Matt is a genius. So everybody needs to make sure that they listen to him. But I
Well, she
think
did get
though,
$5
yeah,
from
no,
him,
I,
so
what Ray said here though, comment about demographics in America, borders can be closed. That's not the be all end all for me. It's that they can talk about every single race being important and having purity of it, but the white race. And I think that's a conversation that needs to be had. And
have you been listening to Nick
oh, I have
Fuentes,
listened to
man?
him. I've always
Are you a groyper?
I have listened to him, and he's very strong. And I've always thought that he's right in a lot of what he says. I wish he would. I
He's right
wish
in a lot of
I wish he
ways.
would
Yeah.
zone a few things in a little bit. I wish he would kind of. His language is brutal, and some of his jokes are unbecoming for a Catholic. That you wouldn't just put out there. I mean, sometimes he's very immoral or grotesque in the things he says, but I think a lot of the actual objective points I think are very 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 strong. Um, I'm just trying to read through here. There, yeah, I think no. The one thing we forget too is the world will never have just this peace. As long as there is sin in the world, there's going to be hostility. So all of these natural means to try to uh create this global peace isn't going to work. It can't work because that's not how the world works. That's not how God's divine law governs things. Man is sinning hard and bad, and that needs to be resolved more than anything. And do we have any world leaders that are going to talk about it? No, they should. I mean, can you?
Well, and we need to be less globalized. I mean, it's something, again, I keep mentioning this, but I'm reading a book about John Adams and the founders, at least Washington and Adams. That was one of their primary goals, in the beginning of the country, was that they would never be involved in foreign wars. And so, they took the help from France and they
Yeah.
took, money from Netherlands, but they're like, hey, we cannot let this, we will pay back these debts. We cannot let this become a loan to say, hey, look, we helped you in your war. Now you come help us in
Yeah.
ours. And they were true to that. So I mean, they were true to that for a long time. And unfortunately, that was really Woodrow Wilson, who was a big part of that. As maybe the most evil man in American history. It's certainly one of them. Who truly broke that and got us involved in World War I. And
Hmm.
it's, as you say, in the end, these local wars need to stay local. There will be wars, especially when you have Jews and Muslims and Christians all living in the same little corner. But then there's
Remember,
going to be suffering and death there, and that's sad. But we just don't need to be
remember when
involved.
Jews and Muslims used to constantly be at war with the Holy See? What happened to that? Where these
Well, they're one fold. They're the Abrahamic crowd. Yeah, come
there
on,
used
get
to
with it.
be this hatred, this I forget which pope said it, this dreadful conspiracy to wage war on the Holy See. All of that's gone now
Hmm.
because we're
Yeah,
we're ecumenical.
yeah, of
Um,
course.
but yeah, you don't hear. Remember in 1993, I think it was, Pat Buchanan said, "We have to." Excuse me. We have to clean up the raw sewage of pornography that runs through our streets. You won't hear anybody say that nowadays. They don't talk about this morality
Mm.
anymore. They don't want to legislate morality. Um, all of them, even these big name so-called conservatives, Vance, Vivek, they miss the mark a lot. It ends up being really false conservatism. Nobody talks the way they used to talk, and I'm not going to say that I'm definitely not saying it's a lost cause because I think there are people. Generation Z, the younger group, is very. I think there's a lot of hope there. I think they see things in a very different light. They didn't live through world events that we lived through, and they're a bit more radical in a lot of their viewpoints than those boomers were, and all that. And I think there's going to be a shift in the future, but for now, I'm
Well,
still
and
not
think of
sold.
it this way, though, that shift isn't going to happen if you have Obama and Biden and Kamala
It
in charge.
could.
You do need a stepping stone. You need
Maybe
not likely
it
because they would
could.
be allowed. They wouldn't. You couldn't literally get into the state governments or something. You do need a stepping stone that is not perfect. That is certainly a very flawed government. It is not conservative. It is like Bill Clinton liberal. I agree with you,
Mm,
but again, it is so considerably better than the alternative that to me it's still not even a question. Like, I mean, if you ask me if I'd vote for Trump right now, 100% I would vote for him again if it was
mm,
against Kamala Harris. No question. Not even. I mean, people come at me if you want. It just, to me, that is a better option by far, and I think it puts our country and our world in a better place. And does that mean that I think that they're moral and good and what our founding fathers actually wanted? Absolutely not. But as you say, Gen Z is hopefully figuring it out. So let's give them a little bit of a, let's give them a something to stand on to try to, keep furthering that momentum. Because otherwise, if we just say, hey, I'm just not going to vote, I'm just not going to do anything, I don't care anymore, then yeah, there's going to be Kamala Harris. And then good luck that they're going to bring in all the illegals. They're going to be, it's going to be, they're going to totally ruin the entire voting process. So it will not be even a shamble of a democracy anymore. And that's not what we want. So I think again, I think you can certainly be unhappy. I think we should be unhappy when our leadership is not going the way they should. But I still think the alternative is so far worse that
Well,
I'm still quote unquote team Trump.
they've already put Vance and Newsom up against each other in 2028. I don't know if you've seen these things, but they've got all
I've
of
seen
the.
that, yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got it all planned out already. I think it's probably the likely matchup here. I don't see it going any other way. I know it's way too early, and usually those predictions that are way too early end up completely flopping. I remember when they told us that it was going to be guaranteed Condoleezza Rice for the Republicans and whoever else,
Mhm.
Rudy
Yeah.
Giuliani. Remember Giuliani? Everybody thought for sure that he
Giuliani.
was going to be the Republican nominee, but no, they already got Vance and what's his name, Newsom lined up, and Vance is going to win. I think they groomed him into this spot. Trump was forced to pick him, and here he is now in DC, and I think he's well liked a lot among the MAGA base, and I don't see anybody beating him. I think some people could put up a good shot, and I think you can have your candidates that uh, do well political poll numbers wise, but I think Vance is the predetermined victory here. I think he's going to just cruise into this. Things like AOC, that's not really serious, but she might make a shot at it, or she might go for something down the line. I doubt she's even going to run, because sometimes what happens is they realize that, okay, if I do run, if I do throw my hat into the ring, I'm gonna just, you know, I'm gonna just see where the polls are. My numbers suck, and I'm just not even gonna bother. I think she's gonna be into that. I agree with. I agree with what Ray here um is saying. Majori Green has brought a lot of this to light too. Majori Green has said that when we were,
Yeah, Matt Gaetz.
yeah, when
Yeah.
we were taken into Congress, we were told we all had to go visit Israel. We all had to go make this trip, and uh we all had to be briefed as to how we were given scripts. I think she said, we have to say how Israel's our greatest ally, we have to say this and that, this, that. And she was told after that we weren't allowed to question why that is. If we were in Congress, if we wanted to be a sitting member of Congress, we had to vocally support Israel. There was just a bill that went up for some sort of defense funding for Israel. It was like 498 to 3. Like, these people are just totally bought, and they're who's running everything, which is why I think in the end, and I know this is I don't want to say an exaggeration, but I think it matters less on who wins in November than people think, because ultimately we do the same sort of thing, we do the same sort of stuff. I I don't see the mass deportations that we were promised. I think so many things just fell completely short. And what kind of irks me, I hate to say this, but is when they try to tell you what a great job they're doing. We know the mass deportations are not happening. We know that there's funding still going to Israel. We know that there's not a lot of America First things going on. I don't want to hear how great it
Yeah, but
is.
but there have been a lot of self deportations. I mean, I've heard people talk about the traffic in LA being significantly better. I think there are
I heard
signs
that. I
that
heard
things
that.
are changing. I've heard that the Mexican food in in Southern California is not as good as it once was. I mean, these types of things that are
You're gonna bleep
they
that out of this.
yeah, they might. Yeah, but I think things are changing, and I think it is. This idea that the police are just going to go round up a million people or 5 million people and send them home, it just doesn't make sense. But I think what they did is they went and they did a couple weeks where they kind of strong armed it and like, yep, we're going to go round people up at restaurants, But if you self-deport, you get $1,000 and you get the chance to go back home and apply for a green card or apply for a visa. And a lot of people did that, and then you can find that all over social media that people did that. And I think that again, I think Trump oftentimes says these things, oftentimes because he just says dumb things. I mean, truly, I think that's true. But sometimes I think he does say it for a point, and I think in this case, the point was trying to scare the crap out of these illegals so that they would actually do it the way that they wanted to do it, which is, I think, a pretty charitable, nice way, rather than going and busting down their doors. Because busting down their doors, that's really truly a way to get your cops killed. It's how to start a civil war even. And so you do that instead by giving them a little bit of sugar and a little bit of the stick. And I think I think they've done that. And I think that you're making things sound bleaker than they are. I mean, and I think again, look at the economy. The economy is certainly better than it was. Again, the tariffs seem to be working. You have guys like Bill Maher saying, "Hey, look, yeah, actually, Trump's been right about this, this, and this," and that's something. If someone like him can say something good about Trump, something must be going on.
Yeah. He has. No, he has. And
But the Israel stuff's weird.
Just...
I have nothing. I can say nothing positive about that. That's just bad. It's just bad. I hate it. I wish it was different. That's all I can say about that stuff.
Yeah, and like the Ray said here too, you got to go to the wall. You just got to go to the wall. Like
Carlos, I hope you didn't die in the feed too. I don't know.
Nah, he's here. He's here.
Hopefully
I could see him. The whole wall, the temple was destroyed because the Jews rejected Christ. That's why the whole thing blew up. What are we going to? I mean, man, just not good. I don't have much. I don't have too much time left to hang out, but one other thing that I wanted to make was, this has been a thing on Twitter, and you see a lot of these people who were Catholics who embraced the theological position, sedevacantism, people running back to the Vatican II religion. And I always thought, one of the things that has been, I can't read the chat and talk at the same time. I have to look. I'm looking away from the screen because how many times you heard popes talk about the dogma outside of the church? There is no salvation. Pope Pius IX said that this is the most well-known of all dogmas, that unless you are in the bosom of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, it is impossible to be saved. My one question is, why doesn't Leo the 14th say that? Why do they talk about everything else but that? He couldn't say that in your dreams. Francis wouldn't say it. John Paul II didn't say it. None of them. If this is the most well-known dogma that you know very well, you can hear Leo the 13th, Innocent the Third, you name your Pope, Pius the 10th, you could hear them all saying it, that outside of the church, you will perish in the flood. They all talked about it. Where are those teachings? Where is Leo warning about this? Absolutely nowhere. It's gone.
Well,
why can't they say it?
Humanism, really? Yeah.
But the question boils down to is, why can't they say it? Why can't you? Why can't you hear yourself? Or why can't you hear them say it? And I think
I tell you, if you listen to these shows with if you listen to these shows with Louis Verrecchio, you see why. I mean, because they're trying to scratch the back of the Protestants and the Jews and the Muslims, because they don't actually believe that Catholicism is the only truth, and they don't believe it. So that's why they don't say it. It's an insane thing for us to talk about, but that's what they believe. And that's again why, as you say, how could you go back to that? I don't know. I sincerely don't know.
So many of these questions can't be answered. I mean, just the other day, I'm trying to find it here real quick. I'm scrolling through really quick here, but here we go. So Leo, he tweeted out, or him or whoever his aides are here, saying that we can be united again when prejudices go away and the marginalized are welcome. I mean, come on. Pius the 11th answered that very clearly. How is there unity? It's when you give up your heresies and you joined in the bosom of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. Why didn't he say that? Where, if he wants to talk on Twitter constantly about Christian unity, say what needs to be said. But it'll never, ever, ever, ever come up. I ran out of breath there saying that. It's not the time. Every time he tries to point at how do we achieve Christian unity, it's about marginalized. It's about poverty. It's about gazes. It's about discrimination. It's about borders. It's about walls. This question has been answered. Everything. This question has been answered by all the popes in the past. Why are you changing their answer? It's so
right, and
it's
changing
so
it's a great point, because it is really truly from documents that were only a couple of decades before Vatican II. You had Mortalium Animos, you had Satis Cognitum, that were directly talking about the unity of the church and unity of Christians, and that unity having to come through people joining the Catholic faith. That is dogmatic. That is the Catholic Church teaching, and you cannot go against that. And of course, they do. They have since 1958.
And you can use your imagination. If you were to ask any pope, if that is how Christian unity is achieved, their answer would be yes. Time and time and time again. If I were to ask Leo that, or Francis that, or Benedict that, would their answer be yes? Nah, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I actually, it's a really good question. So if you had a chance to sit down with Pvost and you could ask him one question, you could say, do you believe that you have to be Catholic in order to enter heaven? I actually wonder what he would say, like legitimately. I actually wonder. I know what he would say. He'd find some flowery way to get around it, I'm sure. But
well, yeah, I have never gotten an audience at the time with Francis, but I've spoken to hierarchy and the diocese and whatnot, and posed this question to them, and they resort to Vatican II. Vatican II doesn't teach that, and then that's kind of where the conversation dies. Because I remember this one time, Kev, I wrote a very long write-up citing all of these councils and all of these sort of teachings, what the church taught on this issue, because I wanted to send it to my pastor and the bishop and all of that. And a guy that I knew who was very well knowledge in this, he went to the fraternity of St. Peter Seminary. He was formed with the FSSP. He goes, you have to be more aware of your audience here. These diocesan priests are not trained in anything but Vatican II. There's nothing else. That is it. The church started in 1958. And once you realize that it's true, that they don't care what Florence taught or what Trent taught or what Nicaea taught or what any of the Lateran councils taught or any of the magisterium taught, they know what Vatican II says, and that is what they will cling to. And it was Paul VI who said that this was the greatest of all the councils, putting up there with Trent and Florence. This is it for them, and it just.
Well, again, it can't contradict. The church can never contradict itself. That is absolute error to believe that it can. And again, that's why I recommend everyone who can to watch the series with Louis Verrecchio. It's very good, and he does a great way of explaining exactly what is wrong with the actual documents of Vatican II. We plan to have him back on soon. Probably publish again next Thursday. That's the plan with Louis. And someone asked earlier about Anthony. We're not going to collaborate with Anthony. I don't know if that's the right word, because we're not sharing the same opinions, but we'll be happy to have him on a show with Mario. It is in the works, and we're hoping to do it here in the coming weeks, to do a live show with the two of them. I will sit back and play referee, I suppose, but I will certainly not be there. I'll let Mario do the dirty work, the hard lifting, while I'll be there as just the kind of the host to do the introduction and the outro. But yeah, that is in the works, and we hope to have it. And I liked having. It was great having Mario on to discuss the video from Anthony, because Anthony's video was nice because it was not
very good.
It was it was just like, hey, look, these are my issues with it. It's like, okay, all right, that's
issues
fine.
That I think a lot of us once took, because I had them.
Fair issues.
And I'm sure Mario did. Mario was with the SSPX for a bit of time. I'm sure he understands it. So we've all kind of have gone through these reasonings, and so I could see why somebody in his position, like you don't want to just be like, yeah, I guess they're right. You do want to research, and you do want to ask questions, and you do want to talk to people who would be able to answer those questions for you. So um, I'm sure it'll go well. You could see though, and however many people there are who are happy with Leo the 14th, who are now going into or back to the Novus Ordo religion, there are people who are coming the other way as well, and who
Yes,
are saying, you know
definitely.
what, I'm seeing things. There were actually a new family at my chapel last
Nice.
weekend who they were like,
That's awesome.
you know what, like things make sense. So just because you don't see it online or on your Twitter following for you page doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, yeah,
So
well, yeah. Let's see it as Sede Picante says. He has used the same line for months. Yeah, I think that's probably true. And we're not saying we're going to convince him in a podcast with Mario, but it's nice that these quote unquote mainstream guys are having conversations with us weirdos. I think that is a good thing. That is
for us to
a
watch.
positive thing that WM Review guys are writing for LifeSite News. That's good. That is a good thing. So whatever you don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to say that LifeSite News is completely, cross the bridge, etc. It is good that these conversations are getting to be more and more mainstream, and that is what you need, because people have to make the decision on their own, right? I mean, we're never going to convince anyone. That's something we all need to remember, especially
Right.
on Twitter. We're just not going to convince anyone. Let's give them the seed. Let's let them, kind of see what it is, and then, hopefully, with God's grace, they will be able to do it on their own. Which I think, as Matt said, I think that's what we're going to see. I think you're going to see people slowly, families and single people coming, to the truth. And I hope and pray that some of these people are going to be, influencers and Novus Ordo priests and bishops and cardinals. I mean, I think that would be, of course, that's what we all want. And if it comes down to it, that we have cardinals going this way, and it becomes a actual question for the thesis, sign me up. I would love for that to be a problem. I mean, that would be an amazing problem, and I would be very happy to have His Excellency Bishop Sanborn on again to discuss it
Again, yeah,
again. Yeah,
again.
when the time comes. But
You'll shoot him a
no,
quick text.
yeah, exactly. Your Excellency, you want to talk about this again? But no, I think let's keep a positive mentality about this, and yeah, we lose a few, and when I say I don't understand it, I don't mean to bash them. I know it is hard. I know, especially with people who don't have the sacraments regularly or have had bad experiences with priests, which happen. They do happen. They happen in the Sede Vacantis too. I do
It
get it, and
happened
there are,
pre-Vatican.
yeah, exactly, and there are
So
issues with the position. This is absolutely true. I get it. It's not easy. I'm just, when I say that, I just mean it from my own perspective. Like when I say I would be an atheist before I would be a Novus Ordo. Novus Ordo, I truly mean that. I mean, because I truly believe Novus Ordo cannot be the Catholic Church. But I understand that's just my view. That is my opinion. That's what I've lived. So not everyone has had. No, not everyone has my truth, Matt. If you know what I mean.
is your true? Yeah,
My truth, Matt.
Do
Do you have? Do you have
say
your
it with
own?
a puppet? Yes, I
Exactly.
have my truth.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate those things. Everybody sits in
I
a
know.
circle to share their truth.
Oh,
Oh man,
terrible.
that's when I feel like being so unhinged. And then
Vomit.
when they criticize me, and you can't say that, it's my truth. Go away.
Oh man.
Man.
Last comment. That video you shared me of the touch of peace or whatever it's called.
See, and
oh my god,
that was mild. That was nothing. That just happened to show up on my feed. There is that was a very good one. A very, very good one. And you see how people are. Some are a little bit more hesitant than others. I never saw. You see the guy in front doing the peace sign with his fingers. I never saw that growing up. And then I went to a church when I was a little bit older, and everybody did that. What's everybody doing? I never saw that before.
And people wonder, like, why are there no young men? Where did all the young men go? They don't go to the Novus Ordo anymore. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Was that your Barney voice?
That was pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
I've watched Barney since I was 3. It's still
all you need now is a Barney puppet.
Exactly.
Barney is a sedevacantist.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Maybe that's what we need. The sedevacantist version of Sesame Street.
Well, we know who to go to.
I think that's it. We know we have a puppeteer here with us today. The next Jim Henson.
Yeah.
I love it. All in good fun.
All in good fun. On that note, I'm going to answer a couple questions here. Sil Gerard says, hi, how about having Father Jenkins on? I would love to have Father Jenkins on. I can't imagine Father Jenkins would come on the show since I'm, quote unquote affiliated with the CMRI. But yes, absolutely. We've talked about it. Like,
I didn't
I
know
mean,
he
with
was
my
still
with my
alive.
dad. Yeah, he's still doing
Sorry, not
shows.
to
I
be
think.
rude. I just didn't know that.
Yeah, he's still doing what Catholics believe. I think he's been doing that show for like it's got to be 40 years. Like, no kidding, which is really impressive. And I respect him. I mean, I think he's a really good priest and has really good material. I would love to have him on a show. Someday I might ask, but I guess I'm just so convinced he would never come
You're
on that I
nervous.
just don't. Yeah, I guess, but also just like I just don't really think it's worth the time. Just because I think he's going
Yeah.
to say no, but it's a fair point because I would like to have him
Is
on.
he
I
still
do
an
respect.
opinionist?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I feel like
certainly
that.
anti took line. Okay, real quick, a couple others
Yeah, no.
disappeared. Traditional Catholic mama. I just came here, but I've seen multiple people go back to them sort of in the past month. Yeah, all family, two close friends. One who was read her whole life, who has read her whole Sede, I assume, and another woman as well. Oh, trad. Okay, I see the correction. Yeah, yeah. I think this young hip pope who wears nice clothes and stuff. I think it obviously it's attracted some people, and for some people it's good because it's bringing them from worse things, I suppose, and hopefully it's just a stepping stone to truth. But for others, yeah, not so good. So I think we need to, again, speaking for ourselves, we need to remember to be good examples and to show that we're not weirdos, to show that we're not meanies, we're just trying to be good Catholics and trying to be a good example. And speaking for myself, I don't always do that on Twitter. Need to do that. So I really need to, like, I don't know, like with your kids, you put soap in their mouth when they say something bad. I think I need to like burn my
Hot sauce.
fingertips. I'm gonna like burn my fingertips or something if I say something bad on Twitter. That's actually a good idea. I should do that. I should like, carry a lighter around. If I say something uncharitable, then I have to burn my fingertips.
You'd be in good saintly company. It's what they did.
I need to hold myself to that because it's terrible. I get so riled up on Twitter, it just drives me crazy. Okay, so let's see. Just the last couple, and we're gonna go, guys. Still again, yeah, he's still active. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's your priest, Sil Gerard, but if so, then send me his contact and I'll be happy to reach out to Father. Again, I would love to have him. Absolutely, I respect him. My chapel's members, however, made up of 90% converts in just the past few years. That's awesome. Yeah, my chapel's about 40%, I'd say too, in the lot since COVID. America has been a Sede hotbed of late in that they were getting too trad. I think that's a really good point, Carlos. I think that first of all, I think Francis had a handful of people he handpicked, and I think that was absolutely part of the politics. It was like, okay, we're starting to lose America. They're starting to become too conservative, and I think that's a really smart point. I totally agree with that. And on that note, Matt, it's been fun.
All right.
Always. We'll talk to everyone. Everyone, thank you very much for being in the comment section. We appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, it's fun.
Traditional Catholic Mama, I guess you got to be here a little sooner next time. Unfortunately, you gotta get running. I
on time.
Comments, but yeah, get here on time. Yeah, we'll probably be here maybe next Tuesday. I guess this is kind of our normal time these days.
Tuesday nights.
Yeah, Tuesday nights. We kind of like it better because we like having you guys to talk with. It just makes it a little more fun. But otherwise, yeah. Stay tuned for more stuff coming from Louis, Mario. We got some more stuff coming from traditional Catholic priests, etc. And yeah, we'll keep on keeping on. Matt, till next time. God bless you.